Sweet ones. I was asked to do a live video. I've been in with three different beautiful souls, and all three of them are seemingly going through the same issues, if you will. And they asked me if I would do a video, so we're doing a video. It's just after midnight here. I think it's after midnight. I don't know. I think it's like 20 after midnight here. These energies are bringing things up to be surfaced. We've been saying that, sweethearts. Your spirit will push your limits. It will push your boundaries. It will push your beliefs. And it will push you and push you and push you, sweethearts, to get out of what is familiar to you, what has been taught to you, what has been ingrained in you. It will push you to go past those beliefs, those taught behavior patterns. And this one of the gals that I spent an hour on the phone with here just a little bit ago. She asks me, she says, I see all the dead fish. I see these kids getting molested and kidnapped and raped. I see these things. Hi, Tracy. How you doing, beautiful? So how can you say they don't exist? Your spirit is the truth of who you are. Your physical reality, better yet, let me put it like this. Do you see life, or do you see life through your perception? Everything in life is a frequency. If you are experiencing anything in the physical, that is not the truth of the energy that you need to transform, transcend, repattern, neutralize, harmonize, whatever word you want to use, sweethearts. The physical, you have to be able to see through it. You have to be able to see above it, beyond it, below it, around it, in order to see what the true energetic imprint is that needs changed. How can being sprayed with chemtrails, how can dead fish represent something within you? When you can not focus on what you're seeing, but focus on the energy that is being presented, that is how you change the energetic pattern. For example, if somebody cheats on you, or you cheat on somebody in your relationships, the physical is presenting that cheating energy as deception, betrayal, whatever it is in your relationships. But if you dig, if you see beyond it, if you see through it, you will, and you dig deeper, you will discover that that cheating has nothing to do with cheating on your spouses or each other. It has everything to do, if you actually allow yourself to quiet your mind, get out of those thoughts, and observe the energy. Cheating is the energy. But really, what were you cheated out of? Because if you cheated on your spouse or lover or partner or whoever cheated on you, whether it's lying to you, whether it's physically having an affair with somebody else, whatever it may be, if you dig deep enough, you will find that cheating energy had nothing to do with sex. But it had everything to do with the fact that you were cheated out of an emotional bond of some kind with somebody that was close to you when you were a little child, whether it was your parents that raised you, whether you were cheated out of an emotional bond with your mother, your father, your grandparents, your siblings, whatever it may be. Energy is energy. It will always come back to you. So if you were cheated out of an emotional bond when you were a child, you are going to grow up being cheated in every one of your relationships of that exact same energetic bond until you go within and give yourself that energetic bond. When you can heal that space within you, you will discover it will no longer appear in your physical reality. It's really challenging for the egoic mind to see beyond the surface of things. Humanity has been taught that their spirit, that their soul is their physical vessel, rather than the protective gear, protective spacesuit that protects the very spirit of all that you are. This gal asked me, she says, well, you experienced things in your life. Look at your rape. Absolutely. You can choose to see whatever you want with your physical eyes. Renee Hamilton makes beautiful posts all the time. All the time. And he is always consistently showing everyone that every breath, every moment is brand new. In every breath, you can hold on to your past, you can hold on to the stories, you can hold on to the memories, or you can choose to see it differently. Everything is perception. But yet it's up to you to change your own perception. Just like Mark. Mark's my ex-fiance. I love him to death. No matter, we have this dance that we do, right? And every time he thinks of me, I can feel it. I can feel it. I'm 1,500 miles away from him, and I can feel him every time I cross his mind. And do I get frustrated with him? Yeah, because we don't communicate except telepathically. And is that a distortion? Absolutely. Hi, Cheryl. How you doing? Hi, Elizabeth. Is that a space within myself? Absolutely. And I'm aware of that. I sit there and I tell him all the time, I don't want to feel you anymore. And yet, I do. It's a dance. I can be frustrated with feeling him, or I can give him shit about it like I do. But it's a dance, sweet ones. You can find the magic in the chaos, in the emotions. But it's a matter of mastering your thoughts. Everything you experience is a frequency. Now, the human mind doesn't want to hear that. I get that. I get more resistance from people in the spiritual community than anything. And I'm okay with that. Because I understand it's their perception. They want to attack my character, they're only attacking themselves. They want to compete. They're only competing with themselves. Everything is a reflection of self. How do you heal it? You choose to see beyond what the physical is presenting itself to you as. You can have as much Reiki, crystal healing, energy healing. You can listen to all the activation videos you want, sweet ones. But until you actually go within and see beyond, see below, see around it, see through it, and actually get to the issue, rather than what the physical world is presenting to you, what you're perceiving through your physical senses and your physical eyes, you're not going to be able to heal it. This girl I spent an hour on the phone with, she's like, but I don't believe that the light can heal it anymore. Well, there you go. If you cannot have faith in what you call God, if you cannot have faith in the unseen, in the unheard, then you're not going to be able to change what your perception, and two, your physical reality. No one broke your heart. You broke it yourself. So nobody can heal it but yourself. It does not matter any of the energy work. We can send you all the loving, healing energy. Will it make a difference? Absolutely. But the difference it's going to make, is it all the light and love, healing energy we send to you? It's going to bring all that stuff to the surface. That's all healing energies do, sweet ones. Is it bathes you with loving light energies that bathe the darkness and make it come to the surface for you to deal with. There's no easy way for you to change your perception except by mastering your mind, observing your thoughts. If you do not have faith, faith is unseen just like spirit is, just like God is. If you do not have faith, what do you have? If you do not have faith in yourself, how are you going to change, sweet ones? How are you going to change the miserable reality that you perceive? Faith is the truth of the trust you behold. And if you don't have faith and trust in yourself, how can you have faith or trust in anything outside of you? If you cannot trust yourself, how can you trust anything in the outside world? If you do not like what is going on in the outside world, sweethearts, ask yourself, what do you need to do to change it? If all you see is hurt, is anger, is hatred, is corruption, that's all you're going to see until you decide to change your sight. Not me, not nobody can do that for you. The only way to heal anything is to change it from inside, to heal it from inside. And maybe that's not the answer you're looking for. But there's nobody that can give you any different answer. Because those of us who have walked this path and have done this journey know Everything that you see in the outside world that is not appearing to you as love is a space within you. Now, whether that space was created in this lifetime, 2 lifetimes ago, or 10 lifetimes ago, you're always, always, always experiencing your own energy. And sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow. Well, so-and-so did this to me. How can you say that's my energy? Sweet ones, let me tell you something. Here in about a half hour, it'll be exactly 4 years since the incident of my rape. Now, when I spent 40 days at a crisis home in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and the angels came to me when I was out in the mountains, you know how hard it was for me to digest when the angels sat there and told me that I raped myself? That's a hard pill to swallow, especially when you're in your mind. Did I grasp what they meant at the time? Not at all. I looked... Well, I won't tell you what I said to him, but I mean, seriously, when you can see, or choose to see, everything outside of you as yourself, then you can understand and understand and overstand that is all held within you. Everything in the outside world is a space within your heart that you have closed off to love. Mark is a skeptic. Mark trusts nobody. I trust everybody. We are the exact polar opposites of each other in every single way. And he, besides my rape, he was the other greatest miracle I've ever received. Because he showed me my own uglinesses, my own inner demons. And that man, I'm telling you, that poor man has dealt with so much shit from me because he is the perfect mirror. But by the same token, I can tell you, for me, he's my miracle. For him, I'm his nightmare. Because I reflect back to him absolutely everything that he does for me. And where I have no problem dealing with my own stuff. And I'm vocal about it. I'm not ashamed of anything I've gone through. Did I used to be? Of course I did. We've all lived in that victim mentality. We've been enslaved in it as humanity. Now, however long it takes us, each of us, on an individual journey to transcend that, is on the individual soul's choices. Their soul contracts, yada, yada, yada. When you can allow yourself to see beyond the victim mentality, excuse me, and that's a hard thing to do, but when you can allow yourselves to see beyond the victim mentality and really face and own up and take responsibility for yourself, your thoughts, your actions. The more you do that, the more you change your energetic frequency. it's really hard for the mind to understand that the 7.8 billion people they see outside of themselves is not them. Or it's hard for the mind to wrap around that it is them. Because they're in a different vessel. They're in a different culture. They're in a different skin color. Whatever it may be. But when you can look at everybody as an aspect of you, regardless of the skin color, regardless of the religion, regardless of the culture, regardless of their participation, if you will, the role they play for you, when you can detach that aspect of it, then you're going to be able to see beyond and above it and around it and through it. And that is the necessity of it, sweet ones. You want to get out of the frequency you're in. You want to stop seeing what you all label bad, corruption, evilness, yada, yada, yada. You have to change it through your frequency. And oh, sorry, Snoopy. I'm kicking my dog off the chair. And that's the only way you're going to learn to be happy. And it's not even a matter of learning. It's a matter of getting there. How do you identify what it is? You have to be present with it. And when you come to understand, it's just memories. It's just memories. And when this stuff comes up to the surface to be transmuted, to be changed, it can only be done through love. Love is not outside of you, it's in you. And it's projected out, just excuse me, just like sin is projected out, what you label as sin. And contentment is found within. You're not going to find contentment through another person until you find it within. And every being, every person on earth, they all want to be loved for themselves. Now, sweet ones, that's you to determine who that self is. Is that self that you want to be loved as you, for you, as yourself, is that self who you're projecting out right now? Is that self the same person you have in your bedroom as it is when you're out in public? Is that self created, built, and made because of the friends you hang around with and you have a persona to uphold? Is it because your parents have molded you? Is that self that you want loved? You just want to be loved, because everybody in humanity, there's 3 things they want in life. Every human, every soul on this planet right now. 1, they want to be loved for themselves. unconditionally. 2, they want to be accepted. And 3, they want happiness and peace. If you want to be loved unconditionally for yourself as yourself, sweethearts, you have to discover who that self is. Because your whole life, yourself that you want loved, has been molded, has been created, has been formed, has been constructed, has been built, whatever word you want to give it, sweethearts, from the outside world. And it is that self, all those masks, everybody else that has built you and created you, that you have to deconstruct to find out who the self is that you are, that truly wants to be loved unconditionally. How can you know who you are? How can you understand how to love you, for anybody to love you unconditionally, which is what you desire, when you do not even know who you are? You know who you are because of your friends. You know who you are because of your family. You know who you are because of your coworkers. You know who you are because of your lovers, spouses, partners, whatever. Humanity has been taught that opinions matter. No opinion matters, not even your own. Every opinion is a judgment. And as long as you're judging anything, sweethearts, whether it's outside of you, whether it's your children's actions, whether it's your parents, whether it's the mailman, as long as you judge anything, there's a space within you that you're judging, that you're not loving. There's an aspect of yourself, within yourself, that still holds a belief, a taught behavior, a molded form, a creation that somebody else helped create, helped construct, helped build. You have to let go and unlearn, unbelieve everything that you have been taught. Everything that you have been told is truth. Everything that you have been told that you are. Because everything that you've been told and taught and ingrained with and programmed with from the time you were born has been based on somebody else. Somebody else's truth, somebody else's beliefs, somebody else. So until you can go within and really discover who you are, you're just wearing a mask of somebody else. And that is somebody else are the 7.8 billion souls outside of you. And that's why everything is a reflection. What you perceive is on you and you alone. If you want to change what you're perceiving in the outside world, sweethearts, find the space within you. Discover what seeing dead fish, it's not about dead fish. See the energy behind it. Figure out what the energy behind it is. Figure out what the symbolism of the dead fish represents within you. If you're seeing child molestation, pedophilia, sexual abuse, It's because there's a space within you that at some point in time you had an experience that tied into that energy in whatever way, shape, or form it may be. It is a space within you. If you are judging somebody because of how they are, because of their spiritual practices, because you're a Native American and they're white or they're black, so that automatically means that they've never stepped on sacred ground. Sorry, sweet ones, that's your judgment and yours only. That's your own ugliness. That's your own inner demons. If you hate black people, it has nothing to do with the blacks. It has nothing to do with their skin color. That's your own ugliness. If you have an issue with pit bulls, it's not the pit bull's fault. That's just a role that's just showing you something that is underneath of it. You don't like the clouds in the sky. Go within and figure out why. What did the cloud, what are they representing? What is the energy that they're representing? Everything is about self-love. And every person that crosses your path is crossing your path for the purpose of showing you your own character. Humanity, the majority of humanity, if they went and stood in front of a mirror, and rather than seeing their physical vessel, that they seen their character, they wouldn't like it. They would not like it. There's not a one of us. Not a one of us that can stand in front of the mirror right now and honestly say that there is not something in our character that could use more love. And I love you, Elizabeth. Hi, Meaty. Hi, Brenda. How you doing, sweethearts? And it takes a very courageous soul to be able to sit there and own up to their own uglinesses. It takes a very courageous being to see in every given moment, in every given breath, and in every given experience, to accept and own up and take responsibility for their own perception. Because the majority of humanity, including those light workers, way showers, whatever you want to call them in the spiritual community, all at some point or another still sit there and say, it's not me, it's them. It's not about me, it's them. And they're lying to themselves. Because the second you sit there and say it's not me, no, I've dealt with that, it's not my energy, it's his or hers or them or theirs or whatever. The second you do that, you shut yourself off to the wisdom that's being shown to you. In every given breath, in every given moment, sweethearts, you are given an opportunity to see your character and to evolve it. Because in every given moment, it is new. In every given moment, like Renee Hamilton says, it's brand new. You choose to bring the story in. Just because something happened 5 minutes ago doesn't make it true right now. Even though it seems like you're still experiencing it. This gal on the phone, one of the gals, like I said, I was on with 3 of them. 3 different ones tonight. She says to me, she says, how can you sit there and say that it's a frequency and that it will change? And this is what I said to her. I can be standing right next to you at that ocean, and you could be seeing dead fish, and I wouldn't be seeing them. She goes, that's not true. How can that be? Because it's a frequency. Do I have emotions? Yes, I do. Do I dwell in emotions? No, I do not. Emotions to me are a tool, period. Did I get to that space overnight? Absolutely not. It's taken me 5 years. Well, it's taken me my whole life, but really the past 5 years intensively. Every person who messages me, every person who crosses my path, I see the reflection in everything. Can I read another's energy? Absolutely. But when I read that energy, I can read their energy, but I can guarantee you what I'm saying to them, I'm also saying to myself. There's always a hidden message, sweet ones, always. You would not be in my presence, and I would not be in your presence if there was not a divine purpose for it. I wouldn't still be feeling Mark if there was not a divine purpose for it. I would not feel the lover of my soul if there was not a divine purpose for it. And it takes great strength to see what you're being presented through everybody else. And it takes even greater strength to see those spaces that you don't want to see. It's very easy to say, no, perception isn't it. It's all heart. It is all heart, but it's all perception too. Because the only way to change your perception is going into your heart and see where you have it bound. See where you have walls up. Because that's what distorts your perception, sweet ones. It's those walls, it's those fears, it's those chains you have bound around your heart so tightly that stop you from trusting, that stop you from embracing your own ugliness, your own demons, your own inner evilness that's being presented to you. And why do I call it uglinesses, inner demons, and inner evilness? Because humanity likes labels. Simple as that. They like labels. They label everything. And really the only label that anything needs or is love. You do enough inner work, you raise your frequency enough, sweethearts, you transcend polarity. You come to a space that there is no good, bad, positive, negative, correct, incorrect, black, white, dark, light. It don't exist. It just is. And if you're not in that space, If you're still in a space, well, that person has the audacity. That's a judgment. No, that's not me, that's him. That's a judgment. If you're still in that space where you can label and define something as that was a bad experience, or that was traumatic, or that makes me angry, or that frustrates me, you are still living in an energetic space of duality and polarity. Your mind will always keep everything separated. Your ego mind only works in separation, in polarity, in duality. It's limited. It has to have boundaries, because that's the only way it can have control. Oh, Elizabeth, you're so sweet, beautiful. You all are my sunshines. And so, this gal who asked me, well, you experience things, you talk about them. Absolutely, I experience things, but I don't put a label on them. I see right through them. Experience with my daughter, the experiences with Mark, the experiences with these animals, and I mean everything. Why do you have to label it as good or bad? Why can't you just change it? Change the label to love. Yeah, it was an experience of love. It was a little less love than I wanted, but now I'll give it more love and we'll make it a better love experience. Ask yourselves why you find the necessity, the need for duality, for polarity. Why do you have to label something as good or bad, right or wrong, black or white? Why does it have to have two sides to the fence? Why do you have to choose one or the other? Why can't it be just be? And those are the things you need to observe within yourself. Because that's where the clues lie for you. It's where they exist. That's where they dwell. The only way to change your frequency is to change the energy behind what you're experiencing. If you don't have faith, then what do you have? If you cannot trust in love, then you're trusting in fear. It's simple as that. Hi, Megan. How you doing, beautiful? In every moment, it's brand new, sweet ones. It does not matter if 5 minutes ago you experienced the most horrible thing in the world. That was 5 minutes ago. And in that 5 minutes, you could have changed that horrible experience into something better by finding the magic. It's a choice. It's a choice. It's simple, sweet ones. It is so very simple that it appears difficult. It appears challenging. And when you reach that space, when you get that aha moment, you're just like, that is so simple. Why didn't I grasp it? Because you weren't at that level of awareness and at that level of a frequency to have that deeper clarity, to that deeper truth to it. Every quote has 1,000 layers, if not more, of deeper clarity, of deeper truth. Michael, namaste, sweetheart. I love you, and I love you to life. That's right. We dream each other into life. We breathe each other into life. And we cross each other's paths, whether it's through social media, whether it's in physical. Whatever it may be, we cross each other's path because we chose it. We chose to experience that experience of love, whether it's a lower frequency of love or whether it's a higher frequency of love. It's all love, sweet ones. And as long as you're labeling it, there's a space within you that you're lacking love. Your love. There's no easy way to say it except to look in the mirror. Because there is no one outside of you, even though it appears 7.8 billion people are. They're all just you. And must have been the cat. And the only way to change your world is to be honest with yourself. So what if Sally did this or said this that upset you? It has nothing to do with Sally. It has everything to do with you. Because you are in your own frame of mind. You are at your own space. And just because Sally says, oh, I experienced this today, she might have thought it was a great experience, but because of the way, the space you are within yourself and your thought process at that moment, you might find what she said ugly, but she found it beautiful. And you're gonna say something or react or whatever based on where your thoughts are, where your frequency is, where your awareness is at. So if you've had a bad day at work and you're cranky, and she comes up and Sally starts telling you about this beautiful, wonderful, magical time she had, and you're in a space of irritation, it's just going to piss you off. Because that's where your perception's at. You're going to find something to be perturbed about in what she says. So, is it perception or heart? It's both, and it's neither. Your perception dictates your physical reality. And until you master that and allow your heart to dictate it fully, you're still going to experience distortions. Until you can see where your perception is blocking you from seeing your own character, you're not going to be able to heal it. And I go back to Mark and I for that example again. Like I said, we don't communicate except telepathically. Oh, I'll text him. He doesn't answer. But that's just to let him know that I love him and I'm with him. But I do that with each of you too. Love is. And when you can understand that everything is a dance, a magical dance, regardless of what is being presented, because Everything that you're experiencing in the physical world is already the past. Because everything starts in the ethers, starts in energy. By the time it gets to the physical material world, it's done and over and something else has already been created. That's why the past will always dictate your future, sweethearts. Because what you experience in the physical material world is already the past. It's energy you've already put out, that you've already created. You hold a thought for 17 seconds, you've planted a seed. You hold it for 68 seconds, you've already created it to manifest into the physical world. So if you're going through an experience right now, sweethearts, that's a distortion, like this gal that's seeing these dead fish and seeing all this other stuff that she was complaining about on the phone. That is showing you something. That is showing you a lot of somethings if you choose to see it. Love is. And when you're seeing something in the physical, that is giving you the opportunity, because it's already the past. It's already taken place and happened. So when it's presented to you in the physical, that's giving you the opportunity to change that energy, to change that energetic imprint, to create something different in the future, because you don't like what you're seeing right now. However, if you engage in it, if you sit there and you get frustrated at these dead fish that you're seeing, if you get frustrated at Trump and his ego, or his seemingly ego, he's playing a role too. Everybody plays a role. If you get mad or disgruntled with anything in the outside physical world, that is a space within you. It has nothing to do with Trump. It has nothing to do with the cabal. It has nothing to do with the Illuminati. Again, everything in the physical is already the past. So everything with Trump, everything with the cabal, everything with the Illuminati, everything that goes wrong in your lifetime, in your given everyday life, whatever it may be, is already the past. It's already taken place. Everything that you do not see right now has already taken place. And it will trickle down into the physical. And that's what you will experience, whether you experience it tomorrow, in a week from now, or a month from now, a year from now. You will experience it because it's your energy you're putting out. You're engaging in it. So if you're engaging in competition, if you're engaging in spiritual ego, if you're engaging in corruption, if you're engaging in lying and deceit and half-truths, that's what you're going to experience in the future. If you're engaging in distortions, if you're engaging in hatred, if you're still seeing skin color and racism and prejudicism, and you're engaging in it, that's what you're going to continue to experience. Because it's your perception. And out of the almost 8 billion souls on this planet, not a one of you, not a one of us, has the same perception. Line a strain, take a stranger and ask him to stand in front of a crowd of 10 people, 10, 20 people. Every single one of them are going to see something different in that one person, that one seemingly stranger standing in front of them. They're all going to see something different. Because everybody's perception is different. Everybody's level of awareness is different. Everybody's frequency is different. It's unique to them. So no, not every being, not every spiritual person on the spiritual path is going to say things the same way, going to do things the same way, going to come to the same understanding. Does that make them wrong? No. And if you see them as wrong because they don't do it the way you want it done, that's your problem, not theirs. And that is a very big thing right now in the spiritual community. Why? You each are individual, unique expressions of the Creator. Why do you care what another person's opinion means? An opinion is a judgment. Love yourself, sweet ones. That's all you have to do. It's as simple as that. It is fear that creates emotions. It is fear that creates doubt. It is fear that creates opinions. It is fear that creates judgments. And it is fear that keeps you trapped in the lower frequencies. And until you can find those spaces within you, why you feel the need to do what you do, say what you say, react the way you react, until you can observe thyself, you will not know thyself. And you will continue seeking that unconditional love from the world that you're not giving yourself. I'm not sure how else to put it any other way, sweet ones. No matter how you look at it, look at the Wizard of Oz. She's had the power all the time. All she had to do was believe it, know it. She went on that whole entire journey just to find out that she had never left Kansas. She was always there. And it was always love. And she held the power the whole entire time. And if you look at the Wizard of Oz and the characters in it, they all reflected back to her what she didn't hold for herself. Life is a journey of parables. It's a dance of allegories. And it's a dance. It's an erotic dance between spirit and soul, form and formless. And the journey is coming to understand that they're one and the same. They're both and neither. They're all and nothing. It just is. And the only thing it is love. So, sweet ones, the journey is a single journey. And it's all within. And if you want your without to match your within, then focus within. Create from within rather from without. Create from your heart and your love rather than your opinions and your judgments and your reactions. Oh, you can't see it, but there's 4 deer right in front of my porch here. It's too dark. I don't think you can see it. Yeah, it's too dark out there. That's great symbolism. Deer's grace means grace, gentleness. So, sweet ones, give yourself that grace. Be gentle with yourselves. And really observe your perception. Again, you got a few days left. before this shift, this octave shift. Really focus within and observe just what's holding you back from ecstasy, from your ultimate love story. Because that's what you're creating. And your love story can be the ultimate love story in 3D frequencies. Or it can be the ultimate love story in the higher frequencies. As always, free will is yours. I encourage you to choose wisely and go within for that choice. Have a good night, sweet ones. I love you. Big, big, big hugs and blessings. Have a great night, great day. Find the magic. Inhale the beauty. And rise and shine. Good night, sweethearts. I love you. Bye-bye now.